go. And then when everything is in connection like that, then you're flowing. Then you're growing. And then your mind, you have to like stop thinking and just stop and start being and learn how to become in your being. I've learned how to become great in my rest that God has given me, because in my rest, see, we do things in life and we don't realize it, but the more we're working, the more we're doing, you have inward beliefs that form from what you do in life. So you're starting to develop a belief system. Oh, if I work harder, I'm going to get more. If I do more, I'm going to get more. If I do that, and even though you have biblical knowledge, you have wisdom principles, you have divine insight, in your physiology, it's not manifesting. It's not fully taking over your physiology. So the physiology of resting in God, it becomes a new system where you find greatness, because now you're resting all of who you are. You can't base your success off your own ability. You can't acquire the divine because you spoke in tongue for 3 hours. And now you're seeing in your rest. You're developing in your rest. You're living a lifestyle of rest. So now greatness is coming out of you. The spirit of eternity is coming out of you. God is coming out of you. The Lion of Judah is roaring out of you. And you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Okay. And so from that empowerment, from that perspective, from that greatness, from that strength, that's what you eat in. I was eating in my own abilities. I was eating in my own will. But now I'm fully eating directly from the hand of God. Before, I would eat far away from God's table because I didn't know how to take these principles and infuse them in one. I didn't know how to take my mind and God, my life, the will of God, the revelation, and conclude it right in the center of my eye. That's why his word has to be imprinted in the middle of my eye. And both of my perceptors must perceive the one whole of him. So I have to bring it in. And now I started moving up in his table rank. I started sitting closer to God. And then I got to a point where I was just eating from his hand, because I know these things now. And so when I eat directly from his hand, my faith goes, everything that I am goes in my faith, not what I feel. Because I've been feeling sick. There's times where I felt sick for a while. My body felt weak. I felt like, and I would question, I would ask, but I know that everything goes into my faith. Then my faith goes into him. And then I know there's underlying powers of things that I'm doing that are gonna hit these powers, trigger this reaction, unlock this, and then I'm gonna flow in it. But I have to learn the clothing. I flow in rest. I flow in peace. I flow in the rest and the peace, yet in gentleness and simplicity. So the more the Lord took me deeper in the characteristics of how I was supposed to operate, and what the clothing and what the mantle was, and I learned how to equip it deeper and deeper, and I learned how to become yielded. Then he started going out branches. He started going out branches and rivets and streams and success and stories and tokens and buildings and databases and systems. And I began to cultivate it in what I was doing. And I began to experience the reality of eternity in every thought, every imagination, every facility, every faculty of being, every tone of perception, every way the instrument played. Everything became just like this to me. Okay. And I wasn't seeing from weight to weight, but light from light in the light, in the light, in the light, in the light. And so it's something, I think there's a beautiful dimension to the spirit, or a traveling prone satellite that you can access, but it completely defies all laws. It completely defies what your mind knows. It completely defies what you've experienced. Now, the defying of this, it defies that. It takes you kind of to a dark place. Like if you're traveling in the universe, not a bad place, not an evil place, but it takes you into a place where no part of you, your abilities, your success, all you've done on the earth, it cannot enter into this. It cannot take credit for this or anything. But if you know this place, you'll be able to travel inside the depths of the creator, the Elohim, the true creator, the one that designed all this. You'll be able to travel inside of him. Okay. And if you do it, then there is a timing for him to reveal what you occurred. So many times we can meditate, we can do things in God, but we don't even know what happened. But if we go in with faith, God never denies faith. Anytime you do something with faith, faith is the God reactor inside of you. Anytime you do something in faith, and faith isn't just something you do because you know it's going to happen. You know when you go to work, you're going to get money. But faith is, you know what? I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes instead of watching video games or anything. And I still play video games. I'm not hating on you. But by faith, I believe that God's going to visit me. And you didn't see it physically. You didn't even feel it emotionally. But you chose to go in by faith. That's faith. Okay? You didn't see it. You didn't even know if God was going to be there. But you chose to. And so faith, you're able to believe. This is the secret. This is a secret dimension to faith. You're able to believe that God is able to do more. But you can say something and say, I believe God's going to exalt me here. I believe God's going to take me 7,000 dimensions higher here. You believe it. And then you connect